welcome to the Florida Person Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hi, I'm Jackie.
I'm Meg Gallagher.
Oh, I'm Jackie Schwartz. I didn't say my last name. It could be anybody. No, I'm Jackie Schwartz.
Florida person. Florida person. Florida person.
I apologize right away if I sound like a little nasally or whatever. I don't know if it's allergies because there's just so much rain and like I don't know. The weather service gave me an alert on my phone that's like there's more pollen than ever before or something.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's so much greenery out here in Southern California that I've never seen before, so it makes sense. Everything's like bright green and there's like this long grass everywhere. It's so weird, but
gosh.
I'm kind of stuffed up. I don't know if it's allergies or I'm just getting like a little cold. It's not COVID this time.
That's good.
I got my government test and I was like, is it COVID again? I don't think you can get COVID like 2 weeks after having COVID. But
jeez, I hope not.
now who knows? And I also apologize if you hear any kind of like splashing feedback sound. It's been raining, like I said, nonstop here in Southern California, and my apartment where I'm recording it basically has a moat of water around it at this point because there's no drainage and it just keeps raining. So every time a car goes by, it's like a huge splashing
like a
sound. Yeah. So if that picks up, that's what that is. And, it might happen so much. There's nothing I can do.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. I might have a train go by or my cats are in the other room and they were sleeping on the bed, but sometimes they wake up when they hear me doing something fun without them.
Yeah, I've definitely heard your cats get picked up. Like I've heard like a meow. I've never heard the train. So don't ever worry about that train because I've never heard the train.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. My cat, he keeps getting up on the little like table I have in front of the window, and I've had these succulents and like little plants on the window since I moved here. Like they've been up there for like 2 years. And he's just suddenly become really, 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 really interested in them. And he keeps like chewing on them and batting them. And he's broken like some now. And I'm just like, why do you have to be into that right now?
Wow.
And it's also, I have stuff like I regrow like my green onions. And green onions are not good for cats. And he's like, it's a good time to chew on some green onions. And it's like, no.
It's never
cared about this. You've never cared about this before in your life, and suddenly you're like, I should probably get up here and start gnawing on stuff. And stop it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Rude.
Rude. So rude. Kitty. It's so rude. Yeah. So we're recording this on March 21st. Meg Gallagher.
That's me.
That's the full name. You usually like to bring up something in like history or something related to this time.
I do, but today I'm going to talk about a couple more old animals.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Old famous animals. Maybe that's the month of March.
Right, because we did.
The month of March is old famous animals. We may not know about.
We did talk about the Oscar animals, so that's good. That's good. Everybody's saying that this was like probably the most, I don't know, like for the people kind of Oscars. Like there are so many movies that people are like, yeah, I saw that and I liked that, and if that wins best movie, I'm good with that. Where a lot of times it's like I haven't seen any of these movies and I probably won't because they all look super depressing and like a bad time. So that's cool. It was like a lot of stuff that everybody could be like, yeah, I was entertained by that, and they're not just all like Oscar bait crap. So
yeah, it was entertaining. I was happy with everything.
Yeah.
I am going to continue talking about a couple other animals.
Yes.
Today. So the first one I'm going to talk about is, I don't know if you remember, do you know Morris the cat?
It sounds, wait, okay, hold on. Morris the cat, is that the Friskies cat?
No. You're
Okay.
close, though. It's the 9 Lives cat.
Ah, it's orange. It's an orange cat, right? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about Morris the cat from this article called 9 Things You Never Knew About Morris the Cat.
Tell me, I love Morris. He has a very full face. I love a cat with like a nice round face like that.
Isn't it funny, though, sometimes where they Photoshop the cats to have even, like, fuller, like, cat I don't know what that's called. Is it the cat cheeks? The cat cheeks where, like, the whiskers come out. Sometimes
Yeah,
they have, like, what is it? Science Diet. Science Diet has, like, these kind of artistic depiction of cats, and
I
some of
like when
the
they
faces
Photoshop
are
them to
huge.
kind of have like more humanistic features. Like they sort of put in like a raised eyebrow or something on the
Or like a
cat. You know?
Or like a
Yeah.
smile. I do
Uh huh.
a
Uh huh.
smile. Because
It's
there
weird, but
are
I
a lot
don't
of
mind it. It's
there are a
funny.
lot of I kind of appreciate that more than, like, sometimes the cat models have, like, no expression at all, which is just terrible artistic decision because you can get cats pictures with personality and stuff, no pun intended, but, like, some of them just have, like, a blank look, especially on, like, litter. There's, like, some litter boxes that they're selling at PetSmart, I saw the other day that there's, like, some cats that look kind of, like, embarrassed that they're like
Oh, well, they know the ad they're in. You know, cats are
I guess
perceptive
so.
like that. They're like, I don't know. As a model, I don't know that I signed up to do like poo kind of stuff. I signed up to be on kitty food cans and in like commercials. I like how ridiculous the commercials are about the litter, where it's always like, ooh, like did you see the one that's they're like in a club and there's like they're all dancing and they're
Oh,
like these
yes.
weird CGI cats and they're like, ooh, he's like a clumpy guy or some stupid shit like that. Yeah.
Weird,
I,
yes.
it's weird, but I won't skip those commercials because they're a whole thing. They're a whole thing. Ugh.
So, the best model or the most well-known model, cat model since 1968, I guess, has been Morris the cat.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the 1960s, the creative team at Leo Burnett worked alongside their client, Nine Lives, to develop a series of new commercials for the cat food brand. Bob Martwick, a professional animal trainer, headed out on assignment from the ad agency in 1968 to find a cat to fill the role of Morris. So I guess this is like a real madman situation, madmen situation, where they were like, "Oh, you got to go out. We gotta cast the role of Morris. He's got to be a real everyman type of cat, not like,
Yeah.
those fancy feast felines."
Yeah, you got to separate because it is kind of like a Thomas O'Malley versus a Duchess. That's an
Yes.
Aristocat like reference for anybody
Mhm.
who doesn't get it.
Staff members at the Hinsdale, Illinois Humane Society believed that one of their residents, a tabby named Lucky, fit the bill for what Martwick was looking for. Lucky was charismatic and charming, so much so that at his own casting call, Martwick recalls Lucky jumping on the table, walking over to the art director, and giving him a friendly head bump. That's
Oh,
like the most, that is just a compliment
yeah.
from a
That's like
cat.
a kitty hug.
He's the Clark Gable of cats, the art director gushed. Lucky got the part and a star was born.
So
And
did Lucky get
yes,
adopted?
um, better than that, but he became famous.
Yeah, that is better. That is better. Mm-hmm.
So he starred in 58 commercials from 1969 to 1978.
Ooh, wow, wow, wee wah.
During this time, Morris was receiving so much fan mail that he had a personal secretary to help him answer it all.
Ooh, well, better not get like socks the cats people. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. The
that's a reference
vocals,
from another podcast. I was just
the voice behind Morris belonged to John Irwin, who voiced He-Man.
Oh, really? I don't remember Morris talking. Maybe because it's, I remember like the Morris commercials from like the 2000s where Morris just kind of jumps up and is like, I'm a cat, and doesn't say anything, just like eats some food.
Oh yeah, no, he had kind of like like a snarky little, this food, like looking and commenting on events around him.
Okay.
He made his acting debut in Robert Altman's The Long Goodbye, which I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's a real good movie.
I
It's a
definitely haven't.
you have to see it. You have to
You
see
should
it.
just assume that
So
any
good.
movie that's like made pre like 1980s, like I probably haven't seen
Oh my gosh, you
it.
should watch it. It takes place in Los Angeles. It's a private detective solving a case, and he's got this cat at home that's played by Morris, or played by Lucky. I wonder if they changed his name to Morris, which I mean, I did that to both my cats when I adopted them. They had horrible other names.
Yeah, I feel like you have to just to kind of like be like,
Cause
yes,
yeah,
this is your not your life anymore.
yeah,
Now you're one of us. You live with us. You have a new name,
yeah,
your new
yeah.
identity.
Theo was his original name was Buck because he's from
Yeah.
Alachua County,
That's
and
so funny
then
because Theo's this
so
little teeny white cat that's such a prissy cat too.
he's
It's
so prissy. He's so
not like a
prissy.
not an everyman's cat for sure.
No, he's very prissy, and they both have this toy that they love playing with. And if Malcolm starts playing with the toy, then Theo gets offended and like looks at me like, "How dare you?" And
Oh,
then Malcolm Maurice's from Alabama. His original name was Tripod because he has 3 legs and they
that's every
objectified him.
single free three-legged animal is named tripod. Like, come on.
So, come on, give
There
him
are
a
other
nice name.
three-legged things. You could probably, I don't know, I can't think of one, but
Give him a nice proper name,
yeah,
like a
let's not do the
human
most
being.
obvious name. Yeah, Scooter, my big boy, his name was Idris at the shelter, which is
He's so
like
goofy, though. He's
I
a
don't know,
goofy.
and I'm just thinking like Idris Elba, like the renowned, like, kind of serious actor. Did this like big fluffy like goofy cat remind you of him? Because
So
like I it doesn't they don't like seem, the same.
no,
And
no.
and then
Scooter is a
he
perfect name.
and then my friend who had adopted him, Laura, named him Claude. And then her cat beat the
Oh.
poop out of him, and that's how I got him because he was not a good match for that home. And then I named him Scooter, and I
Oh
don't know
my
how that.
gosh.
And it's just a
Claude
very
is
fitting name.
Claude is one of Theo's middle names.
Yeah, Claude's
Theodorus
not a bad
Oliver
name, just not a
Claude
good name for
Gallagher.
him.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't work because he's too goofy. He's like the goofiest boy. So
Yes.
yeah,
So the cat formerly known as Lucky, then Morris, he was also an author,
of
and
course.
he wrote 3 books, and
Hmm.
he ran for president twice
Oh,
in
good.
1988 and again in 2012.
I would have voted for him.
1980. I would have voted for him too. In 1988, I was in kindergarten, and I voted for Michael Dukakis.
Okay.
I remember, so I've been a Democrat my entire life.
Winnie the Pooh, I can't remember what year, but Winnie the Pooh ran for president. And they had a whole thing at Disneyland where Winnie the Pooh would like come out and be like, "I'm running for president."
Oh my god.
It was like it was a whole
What?
thing that it was just like, a publicity stunt, but they did it for like a year where they just was like, yeah, Winnie the Pooh is running for president.
He's
And I
running
think
for
that
president.
yeah, like I don't think he got on the ballot, but yeah, they got far enough to make it a big publicity stunt.
Oh
And
my
yeah, so Winnie the Pooh
gosh.
would come out and be like shaking hands and kissing babies.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Honey, it'll be all about honey.
All about honey and wearing no pants and things like that.
While the original Morris passed away in 1978 at the age of 17, all of his successors have been rescue cats just like him.
Oh,
An
good.
advocate for kindness to animals, Morris led the Morris Million Cat Rescue Adoption Campaign in 2006 to find felines everywhere a home to call their own. Yeah,
Guy's a good
so
boy. What a good
he's putting
boy.
he's putting paws all over social media with Morris approved on Twitter. He has a Facebook page, and he makes public appearances.
Of course. Of course. Does it say who Morris is played by these days? Probably several
Hmm.
cats, right?
Yeah, it doesn't say here, but
I love it. Well, I'm
I'll look
glad.
that
And I
up.
guess it's probably most likely a lot of male cats because they're the ones who are usually orange. Although it's not
Yeah.
well, it's not unheard of to have an orange lady cat, but I guess it's tough with the way it works out.
Yeah. I wonder. There's got to be a list of all the cats who played Morris.
There has
Find
to
that.
be. There has to be somewhere.
There has to be.
Sleuth it, sleuth it. Well, in the meantime, we'll talk about another beloved animal. So this just came up a few days ago, but beloved and debated French Bulldog becomes the top U.S. dog breed.
Oh, I saw that.
So I just got this on my news alert the other day, and it turns out it forever and ever it's been, I guess every year they figure it out who's the top dog breed. And for a long time it's been golden retriever. And this is just in the US, right?
Okay,
But
yeah.
the golden retriever's been unseated before with like Dalmatians when like Dalmatians were big during like the Disney movies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the little French bulldog, and it's a little bit debated because, as we know, French bulldogs they're very cute, but I might be in the camp of I don't know if they should exist.
Don't they have like breathing problems?
Yes, like that smushed nose. They're one of these dogs that have been like bred into looking like that, and it's been more for the looks over the health concerns, but they have been around for a really long time. They're not some crazy dog breed that just kind of popped up, and I don't know. So we'll get into it. I have some feelings. But
Mm-hmm.
for the first time in 3 decades, the US has a new favorite dog breed, according to the American Kennel Club. Adorable in some eyes, deplorable in others, the sturdy, push-faced, perky-eared, world-weary looking, and distinctly drool French Bulldog became the nation's most prevalent purebred dog last year, the club announced Wednesday. Frenchies ousted Labrador Retrievers. Okay, wait. Then
Ooh.
why did my update said Golden Retrievers? Okay, Labrador Retrievers from the top spot after a record 31 years. Why? They're comical,
31 years.
friendly. Yeah, 31 years.
Oh.
They're comical, friendly, loving little dogs, says French Bulldog Club of America spokesperson Patty Souza. City friendly with modest grooming and exercise needs, she says. They offer a lot in a small package.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the Frenchie's dizzying rise, it wasn't even a top 75 breed a quarter century ago, worries its fans, to say nothing of its critics. The buzzy little bulldogs have been targeted in thefts, including last month's fatal shooting of a 76-year-old South Carolina breeder and the 2021 shooting of a California dog walker who was the dog walker of Lady Gaga's
Oh my
French Bulldogs. I
gosh.
think you might
Yes,
remember
I
that.
remember that. Oh, geez.
There's a concern
Awful.
that demand plus the premium that some buyers will pay for exotic coat colors and textures is engineering quick buck breeders and unhealthy dogs. The breed's popularity is sharpening debate over whether there's anything healthy about propagating dogs prone to breathing, spinal, eye, and skin conditions. So yeah, the big thing is breeding. My sister is a vet, and that's what she always says. She's like, if you want a dog that's not going to have health problems and that's going to have like a long, successful life, you don't want to get anything that's purebred with like a smushed in face, because no
Yeah.
dog with the smushed in face is not going to have breathing problems, because just like a dog physiologically needs to have like a longer, just like a person. Like if you had
Yeah.
some smushed in nose, you'd probably have to go get, surgery to
Jeez,
be able to
yeah.
breathe, right? The flat face is not something that's naturally like found in the animal world and in mammals a lot.
And they've done that with the Persian cats where it's like the faces are so smushed and it looks uncomfortable.
And that's why you hear them when like Frenchies are so cute, and they're really like good temperament dogs. Like they're very nice dogs. Every Frenchie I've met is not like a nasty little dog. They're so cute and nice, but you always hear them like like making that, and it's because they're like not breathing correctly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's awful to me. That feels bad. The British Veterinary Association has urged people not to buy flat faced breeds such as Frenchies. The Netherlands has prohibited breeding very short snouted dogs, and the country's agriculture minister aims to outlaw even owning them. French Bulldogs can
Mm.
be a polarizing topic, says Dr. Carrie Steinfinnick, a Glendale, Wisconsin based veterinarian who's on the Frenchies Club's health committee. She's treated French Bulldogs with breathing difficulties, and she stresses that would be owners need to research breeders and health testing and to recognize that problems can be expensive to treat.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, that it's like the dog is gonna have health problems, and can you afford to take care of these dogs' health problems, and
Yeah.
why breed something that has health problems? It's
Well, that's the thing too, is they're in really high demand, and to get like a full bred Frenchie, you're never gonna find them. Like, it's very rare that you're gonna find them as a rescue dog. You know, if you go to the
yeah,
pound or you go to a rescue, I haven't heard of any Frenchie rescues. You hear about a lot of like breed specific rescues, and they don't seem to be
yeah,
that. And buying them from a breeder, I mean, they're a few $1,000s, and like it said in the article, you know, depending on like some of the hair types and things like that, it can be $10,000 for one of these
jeez.
things. And, you know, like we talk about rescue animals, you talked about it in the last article, and that's kind of, yeah, you know, there's so many animals out there that need a home
You
that
need
are getting put
homes.
down because there's not enough room. And then you're spending all these monies on
Yeah.
these dogs that kind of shouldn't be bred in this way. I don't know. That's my opinion. I do think they're really, really cute. I have a shirt that has like Frenchies printed all over it. So I guess I'm not helping. I have like a button
I
down that
guess not.
I always
Gotta
get compliments on this
gotta
button down.
burn that. Gotta
It's
burn
so
that
cute.
now.
It is so cute. I do find them to be very cute. So I'm part of the problem. I I wouldn't ever get one, mostly cuz I would also never be able to afford it. If I decided to get a dog, I would get one that I don't think I would ever go to a breeder. I think it would just also be so stressful. Like there's a lot of
Oh,
ethical
yeah, that
things
would be
around
very
going to a
stressful.
breeder, but take
Yeah.
out like the ethical part, and it's a lot of like I gotta go and like meet this person and like broker a deal for this dog. And you know,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
every cat I've
Mm.
gotten from a shelter, you just kind of walk in and you're like, I like this one, and here's my info, and here's like $75. Cool, I'll take them in to get
Or
neutered when it's time.
or they're like, "Oh, you like that one? We're having a special buy one, get one free."
Yeah, here, get
That's what
another
I did.
one, wouldn't
That's
you?
when I got Theo, they were like, "Oh, are you sure you don't want another one?" And then with Malcolm Maurice, when I adopted him for free because they had a foster program where if you were the foster parent for 2 weeks and it worked out, then they would let you keep him, which was very nice.
Yeah. So I'll end with this. The American Kennel Club's popularity rankings cover about 200 breeds in the nation's oldest canine registry. The stats are based on nearly 700,000, 500 puppies and other dogs newly registered last year. About 1 in every 7 of them is a Frenchie, and registration is voluntary. The most rarely owned is English foxhounds. So that's how they come
Hmm.
up with what the most popular breed is. The
Oh, I
rankings
see.
don't count mixed breeds, or at least for now, Labradoodles, Puggles, Morkies, and other popular designer hybrids. The American
Mm.
Kennel Club's tops were, so I think this is an order because it does list French Bulldogs first, but there's no like countdown. French Bulldogs, Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, German Shepherds, Poodles, Bulldogs, Rottweilers, Beagles, Dachshunds, and German short-haired pointers.
Ooh.
So those are your top dogs, baby.
Oh my
Yeah. So
gosh.
yeah, there you
Well,
go.
that's, that's a topical topic.
Yeah, everybody likes to
And
hear about the doggies.
yes, and I hope they do because I'm going to talk about another dog. I'm going to talk
Oh,
about
good. This is just
probably
dog and cat
this is
talk,
just
you know?
exactly this is dog and cat talk this week. And this is, I would say, arguably the most famous dog. The most famous dog star
Ooh. It's like Rin Tin
and
Tin?
better, Lassie.
Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Lassie. We're going to talk about the dog who played Lassie, the first dog who played Lassie, which I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but the character Lassie is a girl dog. But the dogs that have played Lassie have typically been male.
Huh. Interesting.
So this is the story of Pal, the first dog to portray Lassie. So Pal was a male rough collie performer, and he was born in North Hollywood, California, in 1940.
Ooh, I live in North
His
Hollywood, California.
look there might
In
be
2023.
there might be some Pal memorabilia out there.
I
I'm
would
sure
love
there
to
is.
find some Pal memory. There's Amelia Earhart is from here, so there's a lot of Amelia Earhart things around North Hollywood, but
Oh,
no Pal. I'm gonna have to look
Pal,
for
yeah.
Pal.
Well, he was first owned by an animal trainer named Howard Peck, and Pal was brought to another animal trainer in Hollywood when he was 8 months old to break his habit of barking uncontrollably and chasing motorcycles.
Mm.
And that Hollywood animal trainer was Rudd Weatherwax. And Rudd was able to stop Pal's barking, but not his motorcycle chasing.
Oh,
So disappointed Howard Peck was in that he couldn't break him of both habits. And the fact that he owed Rudd Weatherwax money, he just gave Weatherwax Pal in lieu of paying him that money. Weatherwax gave Pal to a friend, but he learned that there was going to be a movie version of a popular book called Lassie Come Home, a novel by Eric Knight, and they were turning it into a movie in by MGM. So he took Pal to this, to audition for the role of Lassie. Lassie Come Home was planned to be a low budget black and white children's film, and there are different figures about how many dogs auditioned. Some of the articles I read said 300 and some said 1,500. So we'll just say between 300 and 1,500 dogs auditioned for the role of Lassie. Pal was one of them, and Pal was rejected. The biggest reason is because he was a male. That's a pretty
the
big reason.
scandal.
His eyes were too big, his head was too flat, and
Ugh.
he had the white blaze down his forehead that they were like, no, that's not Lassie, which is very funny because that became the most
Yeah,
trademark
that's iconic.
or
The
Lassie.
iconic blaze.
And so the role went instead to a female prize winning show collie from San Francisco.
Of course,
So,
the elite.
although, yeah, she got the role and Pal was hired as her stunt dog. During the filming of Lassie Come Home, the decision was made to take advantage of a massive flooding of the San Joaquin River in Central California for dramatic purposes. The
Mhm.
female collie was still in training, and she refused to enter the raging waters created by the
Oh,
flood.
yeah, she's a diva. She's a show dog. She's like, where's my stunt
She
double? Where my
says, "My
stunt
stump
sorry, stunt dog. Where's my
where's my
stunt dog?
where's my stunt dog? Bring him here." And,
Mhm.
it's all about preparation, and sometimes you can be just a star, immediately from being so well prepared. So
Mhm.
at this moment, Pal performed the 5-stage shot that they needed, where Pal swam in the river, he hauled himself out, he lied down without shaking the water off his coat, and crawled on his side and then lied motionless, like
Oh, what a good
completely
boy.
exhausted. And he performed the scene in one take.
Of course.
In
Don't make
response,
that dog do that
producers
twice.
no,
That seems
producers
it was probably so dangerous. They were probably like, yeah, if we lose dog, we lose dog.
producers released the female collie from her contract,
Oh,
and hired Pal. Not only did they hire him, but they reshot the 6 weeks of filming with Pal portraying Lassie. Apparently, she was also shedding excessively, so
oh,
it
what a
was a
diva.
that was a problem because another reason why they continued using a male dog was the female dogs shed more. So Lassie always has like a child with him as his
Yeah.
little friend. And so the child looks smaller next to the more fur. So that was like the reason.
Okay.
The original trainer, after they filmed Lassie Come Home, they upgraded it to a full Technicolor film with top publicity, advertising. That first movie starred a young Elizabeth Taylor and
Really?
yeah, and Roddy McDowall. She was in 2 of the Lassie movies.
Okay.
Pal did his own stunts like Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
He rarely required retakes. So after, Pal became a big star, his original trainer tried to reclaim him after he became famous. But the legal ownership by Rudd Weatherwax was upheld. He starred in 6 more MGM movies,
Of course.
also starred in the Lassie show on radio, the first
What?
radio program the first radio program to feature an animal as the star, where each week a dramatic story would unfold, and Lassie supplied the barks, whines, and growls called for in
Wow.
the script. So he's also a voice actor.
A person definitely could have done that, but I'm fine. I'm glad they used the dog. I am
They used
glad.
the dog. They flew him back to Hollywood each week for him to be
Wow.
in studio for that. After his last MGM movie, MGM executives felt that Lassie had run her course and planned no feature films featuring her, at which point they sought to break Weatherwax's contract. Weatherwax, the trainer, he was concerned about protecting Pal and the image that he curated for the Lassie character. So MGM also owed him $40,000 in back pay, and he worked out an arrangement with the studio where he received the Lassie name and trademark, which that has to be like the worst studio decision ever made.
Right? Oh my gosh,
That's
because Lassie's so enduring. I mean, I don't know that I've even ever seen a Lassie movie, but I know exactly who Lassie is and what
I
Lassie
used to
looks like.
watch yeah, I used to watch the, like, black and white TV show when I was little,
Yeah, I
and,
can even think of the little boy standing next to this big puffy dog. Yeah, for sure.
Timmy was the best one. After he took over for Lassie, then he went to TV with this television producer, Robert Maxwell, wanted, this Lassie show, so he developed that show with Weatherwax. They found the right child actor, Pal, I guess Pal ended up choosing.
Mhm.
Because Pal got to like hang out with 3 different child actors, and he had the best interaction with Tommy Rettig, who became like Timmy on on the series, which ran for a long time. So CBS had the TV show, and Pal started getting older. So then his son Lassie Jr. took over the role. At one point, they said that Pal played the Lassie and his son. So I need to like look
Shouldn't it
that up
be
further.
Pal Jr.?
I know they called him Lassie Jr.,
Yeah, but it
which
should
is
be
funny.
Pal Jr. because your dad's name isn't really Lassie.
So Lassie died in 1958 at the age of 18.
Oh,
And
wow, that's a pretty old dog.
yeah, his son took over, Lassie
Mhm.
Jr. Um,
Family business, you know?
yeah, and Rudd Weatherwax, the original owner, was just very distraught and depressed about Pal's death. He never watched another MGM Lassie movie again, and he's buried on the Weatherwax Ranch. Lassie has been played by a male dog for I guess, the duration, and several descendants. We want to talk about Nepo puppies.
Nepo
Nepo
puppies.
Puppies is the fictional character has been played by Lassie Jr., Spooky, Baby, Meyer, and Hey Hey. In 1997, a television series, Another Lassie, debuted on Animal Planet, but the star was not a Weatherwax trained Lassie.
Ooh,
Uh,
scandal. New blood.
protests ensued, and they
Mm-hmm.
brought in a ninth generation Weatherwax dog to the show.
Wow. Wow. Have to keep it in there. No.
Had to keep it in there. So now Lassie lives on with Carol Riggins is the official owner and trainer of Pal, another Pal, a 10th generation direct descendant of the original Pal.
Oh, okay.
And this pal gives interviews, been seen on TCM Classic Film Festivals, had a People magazine internship,
Of course.
and, shows up for weather broadcasts sometimes, and
Okay.
even had an interview with The New Yorker.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
Great.
yeah, so that's the story of Pal.
Oh, pal. We're all
It's
familiar with your work.
It's fun to look up old advertisements featuring Pal because they do say like, "Lassie, here's the food that she loves to eat." And you're like, "Oh my god, was that like a big Hollywood secret where they're like, you can't tell anybody the real gender of
Yeah, you
Lassie?"
can't tell him that this is a good boy, actually. It's just a good boy. I love a fluffy collie. They are nice and fluffy. They must be a real nightmare to like
They're
have to groom
huge.
and keep.
Um,
They
yeah,
are yeah,
I
they're
had a
huge.
collie briefly when I was, like, in 6th grade. We had a collie for a brief period of time that we ended up giving away, and that dog ended up being, like, 6 feet like,
Ooh.
6 feet long. It was, like, enormous.
Yeah, the border collies are much more manageable. My aunt had a border collie for a while who was like the
Oh, yeah.
goofiest dog. Still nice and fluffy, but like a definitely a more manageable size. Like, you could like
Yeah,
pick her up. She was still like a
definitely.
medium-sized dog, but not ridiculously large. Some dogs are so big. So big. You need a full ranch for them. They need a ranch.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think so.
Mhm.
I saw this, Great Dane being walked in my neighborhood the other day, and he looked like a little pony.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh my goodness." Yeah, sometimes you just see, like, a big German Shepherd, and you're like, "Look at that guy. Look at that guy, he's so big." Yes, you just need the room for them, though. It's tough. You need to, like, almost have land if you're gonna have, like, nearly a dog the size of a horse, you know?
Yeah. Oh my
Just something
gosh.
you gotta do. Some for them. So we like to end on like a Florida story, something bring it back to the Florida Person podcast. And I got one for you. I got one for you.
Cool.
So there she blows. Canadian woman wins Key West conch contest.
Oh, what's that?
I'm gonna tell you. So, a Canadian woman and a pediatric cardiologist from Georgia won the men and women's contest at Key West's annual conch shell blowing contest, using different techniques to impress Saturday judges. So, if you've ever seen a movie where somebody's like got conchs are those big shells, they're like a big snail that lives in one of those like big pink shells, and you've
Uh-huh.
seen the movies where they go "Boo, boo, boo," like on the shell. I think they
Yeah.
do it in The Little Mermaid. Like a mermaid does that to announce King Trident. So if you're
Oh,
trying
yeah, they
to
do. Yeah. I remember it
imagine
now.
that. And it's like a deep, almost like trumpeting sound. So Brian Cardis of Macon, Georgia, played the Jimmy Buffett song Fins on a pink-lined conch shell with holes so it can be played like a flute, while Carol Whitley of Ontario, Canada, blew a long, loud blast with her shell to best out other competitors. Cardis said he
Oh.
began blowing the marine mollusk shell about 10 years ago during a family visit to Key West, adapting techniques he learned playing the trumpet as a child. You sort of have to just buzz your lips when you're blowing into it, Cardis said. You have to make a pss, I guess a pss noise with your lips in order to generate the sound. Whitley said she plays the shell at her Riverside home and to celebrate sunsets. Oh, bet the neighbors hate her.
Oh,
Every time there's a sunset, boo
wow.
boo. That must be, I don't know, they like that. Judges evaluated entrants ranging from children to seniors on the quality, the novelty, duration, and loudness of the sounds they produced. So you could like play a song, like a Jimmy Buffett song, or just have like a real loud, clear boo boo kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, the novelty.
Yeah, the other winners included Michael and Georgian Wachter, a couple from Avon Lake, Ohio, who performed a conch shell and vocal duet parodying Elvis Presley's Hound Dog that drew cheers and laughter from spectators. So this is like a pretty loose event, I'd imagine. There's,
Yeah.
not like a ton of rules. There's just like, yeah, just do something with the shell. Just
Just
impress us with that shell you got. The conch shell, an enduring symbol of the Florida Keys, has been used as a maritime signaling device in the region for more than 2 centuries. The island chain is nicknamed the Conch Republic. The contest was
Okay.
conceived by the Old Island Restoration Foundation in 1972 and took place in the garden of Key West's oldest house museum. And I've been there. It's a cute house. But yeah, so the conch is a thing. If you don't know, conch is delicious, like the meat of it, but you can't actually get conch that's raised or fished in US waters because it's technically still threatened, I guess, from
Oh.
overfishing because they overfished it for a really long time. But it's not in like other Caribbean waters. So we imported a lot from the Bahamas and some of the other islands in the Caribbean. And so the conch you can get a lot of really fresh, delicious conch, but it's not like Florida Keys conch because they're protected. You can't hunt conch. You might be able to get farm raised conch. I don't know the thing on that, but I know you can find conchs just snorkeling and like diving around the Florida Keys, but you're not allowed to like be like, delicious, and like take it and go bring it home and eat it. That would be illegal.
What's the best way to eat it?
I love grilled conch. It's because it's kind of almost like a clam. It's like a big clam. It's a big enough clam that you cut it up into pieces. So it's got that kind of chewy, clammy like taste and texture.
Okay.
But I've had like a conch burger. I've had it breaded and fried. I think probably the most recognizable is like a conch fritter. So it's almost like a hush puppy with little pieces of conch in it.
Oh.
That then you dip in like cocktail sauce and it's really good. But the best thing I ever had, I remember I was like 18 and I was in the Bahamas. I was like on Grand Bahama Island or whatever at some resort. And there was a guy on the beach who just like set up a barbecue, like some local, and he was selling conch burgers and it was like fresh caught conch, and he was grilling up like these big flat pieces of conch and, putting them on a bun. And that was the best conch I ever had.
Oh, geez.
There you go.
Is Key West like the best place to eat the conch?
In the US, I mean, if you can get like lively caught, like new live conch, like in the Bahamas, that's going to be the best. But you really can't find it much outside of Key West or the Florida Keys. I mean, you can find them probably in like Key Largo restaurants, like all the way up and down the Florida Keys. You'd find conch fritters and conch chowder, which is like, it's just like New England clam chowder, but instead of clams, it's conch in it. And it's a little bit spicier. And you can get that all around the Keys. It's kind of like key lime pie and conch fritters and conch chowder are like the 3 big things in the Keys.
Oh.
And they're all delicious, and I love conch stuff. You can probably find it in your local grocery store, but you would find it canned. It'd be really, really rare that you would find like conch over in your seafood counter. You might like at a specialty store. We found it before. There's this Doris's Market in southern Florida. I think it's in Broward somewhere. Okay. And they had like conch that you could bring home that was like fresh conch imported from the Caribbean. But mostly, I think you could probably even find it out here in California in a can in some places. And the canned is not bad. It's kind of like, how canned like crab meat isn't gross. It's not like
it's
canned.
Different.
Yeah, it's not going to be as good and fresh, but you can still make a pretty good clam chowder with canned clam or canned conch.
Okay.
A conch chowder with canned conch, or you could probably make conch fritters, but you kind of need a deep fryer kind of business for fritters. But you could do that because it's cut up pieces and not a big conch steak or something like that. So yeah, that's the
Oh.
authority on conch. I love talking
New
about
thing to
conch.
try. Yeah, a new thing to try.
Yeah, you being in South Florida, you would probably be able to find it in the can, or you might even be able to find like conch chowder in the can, like pre-made conch chowder. And I think you'd like it. If you like clam chowder, like New England clam chowder, the red clam chowder, you'd like conch chowder.
Oh, I'll have to try that.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's not like a cream based soup, so it's pretty good for you, I guess. It's, tomato based. So
Oh.
if you're not looking for something too heavy, it's like it's delicious. It's a good one. My dad used to make his own conch chowder and it was really good. He still makes it, but not when he's in Montana. So
Oh, yeah, I guess.
it's just it's tough to get up there. Definitely.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
guess the materials
Yeah,
hard
I'd
to get.
imagine you could probably find it in the can in a lot of cities, but probably not fresh unless it was like a real specialty store and probably not outside of Florida.
Look at that. Look at that. To try some things to eat.
Yeah, yeah, be adventurous. I mean, it is like a little bit of like a fishier thing, but if you can handle like mussels and clams, it's in that kind of a realm, or like scallops, where it's
Oh,
I mean, it's a
that
mollusk.
it's a
It's a
mollusk, I know.
mollusk. It's so
Well, I
it's
guess it's
gonna
something to
be
try. It's something to try. I won't be afraid of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's in that family. It's most like clams, I think. You know,
Okay.
like taste and texture wise, because it's really kind of just like a big old clam, kind of in that way.
Oh, I'll have
So
to try it. I'll have to report back.
yeah, if you see it, to give it a shot. I think where you are, just being in Broward. Wait, no, you're in Palm Beach County, right?
Yeah, but pretty
Even
close
that,
to
if
Broward.
you go to a restaurant, maybe like at the beach or something, a lot of beachy restaurants will have it on the menu, and you've probably just like not even like noticed it on a menu. Like they'll have conch chowder on the menu. So
Just
those
passed
would
it
be
by.
yeah, like a lot of like beachy kind of grill places will have that, even all the way up like the Florida coast. So I think
Okay,
especially in
cool.
South Florida. So you might be able to find it if you go out to eat at like a kind of a beachy place, like a place that has, like fish on the menu, you know. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
There's plenty
you
of
get
places
it.
like that around here.
Yeah, or conch fritters. Conch fritters are really good, and they're a good introduction to conch because it's not too much conch. You know, it's like they're like hush puppies, like big fried hush puppies. They're delicious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Well,
give it a
I'll have
shot.
give it a shot. I'll report back. It's gonna be
Yeah.
better than like 9 Lives cat food
Yeah,
or
that's the thing.
any.
As much as I love Morris, like even my cat's not going to eat 9 lives. It's not a great quality cat food. I think it's one of those that has a lot of grains and fillers and stuff in it because it's definitely
My
one of the
boys.
cheapest.
Oh yeah, my boys like they're fancy feast boys. They like fancy feast.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
they
mine
like.
too. Scooter gets half a can of Fancy Feast and he's like real bougie about it. He asks for it, and I only just started doing that cuz I have to mix like his little tooth powder in it cuz he's got like he needs to brush his teeth more. So we're working on his dental hygiene, and it's a way for him to
Aw.
consume his little tooth powders. And yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, well, we're trying to he's
That's
getting up
good.
there. He's getting up there in age, so we got to take care of things. Yeah, take care of your cat. So take care of your cat, whether they're in film or a model in the movies, whatever it is. You take care
Yes.
of your animals, whether they make the top lists of doggos, whatever it is. And eat some conch, blow some conch. That didn't sound right. You know
Whoa.
what I'm talking about, right? Yeah,
Get it.
so yeah, that's this week in all the weird stuff we found on the internet.
Yeah, I'm Meg Gallagher.
And I'm Jackie Shores, and we'll see you next week on the Florida Person Podcast.
Bye.
Florida Person. Florida Person. Florida Person.